Newly exposed text messages between Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and dozens of members of Congress, namely Republicans, indicate that there was a lot more planning going on behind the scenes when it came to overturning the results of the 2020 presidential election. Now, Trump still refuses to accept that he lost fair and square. And during this period, it was clear that dozens of Republican lawmakers were in his camp. So Turning Points Memo was able to obtain these text message exchanges, and here's what we know. The texts were rife with links to far-right websites, questionable legal theories, violent rhetoric, and advocacy for authoritarian power grabs. The clearest example actually came in the form of this exchange between Representative Ralph Norman, who literally advocated to Trump to use violent military action to get what he wants. So 3 days before Joe Biden was set to be inaugurated into office, Norman texted this to Mark Meadows. Let's take a look. Mark, in seeing what's happening so quickly and reading about the Dominion lawsuits attempting to stop any meaningful investigation, we are at a point of no return in saving our republic. Our last hope is invoking martial law. Yes, he misspelled martial law here, but nonetheless, please urge to president to do so. So he wants Trump to declare martial law so he can remain in office. That is what this Republican lawmaker was urging Trump to do through his communications with his chief of staff, Mark Meadows.
Yeah, guys, declaring martial law is ending democracy, saying we're now ruled by military rule. That's where the word martial comes from, not the name Marshall. Anyways, so Marjorie Taylor Greene also suggested it, but this guy insisted upon it. So this guy's look, whether you could legally prosecute him as someone who committed treason against the United States is a different question, okay? And no, I don't mean it in the way that the right wingers do. Oh, treason means you execute him in the streets. No, just legal process, politics, normal sane things, right? But as a matter of ideology, he is a traitor to America, he is. So again, don't do anything physical. We're not right wingers. We're going to defeat him politically, right? But he's saying, I don't believe in democracy, and if Trump lost, I don't care. Just use the military and turn this into a junta, a dictatorship, right? And we want you to run it. So I mean, these Republicans, they never loved this country. They never liked the idea of America at all. They just want power. They don't want democracy.
Just want to apologize to Talking Points Memo for doing them real dirty by calling them Turning Points Memo.
Oh, yeah.
My bad, that was me misspeaking. I did not intend to do that. I guess force of habit, since Turning Point USA is in the news quite often. But anyway, moving on, just want to make that clarification. Now, Talking Points Memo reached out to Congressman Norman, hoping that he would provide a statement about this. Reached via cell phone on Monday morning, Norman asked TPM for a chance to review his messages before commenting. It's been 2 years, he said. Send that text to me and I'll take a look at it. Well, they did, and they did not receive any further response from the congressman, which is the least surprising thing in the world because he didn't want to address it. He knows. You think he'd forget that he wanted Trump to declare martial law?
Yeah, or even if you believe that, he got the message, he looked at it and went, oops. That didn't age well. So when they're like, okay, well then, now you got the text message, give us a comment. He's like, no.
So
runs away.
Let me be clear, Norman is not the only person that Mark Meadows was exchanging text messages with on the topic of overturning the election, okay? There were 34 Republican members of Congress involved in these exchanges, in these communications, right? Let's go to some more info here. So the members who messaged Meadows about challenging the election and shared conspiracy theories included some notable Republicans, some that we already knew about, others maybe you didn't know about. So Ted Cruz, Jim Jordan, you have Jody Hice, Paul Gosar, Louis Gohmert, and my personal favorite, Mo Brooks. I love that Mo Brooks has been implicated in all of this, considering he was a Trump loyalist, until he and Trump had a pretty embarrassing falling out. And now Mo Brooks is no longer in Congress as a result of Trump giving him the middle finger and refusing to endorse him. But nonetheless, I just love all of it. It's so good, it's so delicious. Now, in a message to Meadows on December 10th of 2020, Trump campaign advisor Jason Miller described Mo Brooks as the ringleader of the effort to block the electoral certification. So here's a screenshot of that text message exchange. And I know that the typing there is probably small for you to read, so I'll read it for you. FYI, so I asked Ali Pardo from our press shop to get in touch with Representative Mo Brooks' office since he seems to be the ringleader on the January 6th deal. They say they will have as many as 50 members on board for January 6th, but we won't have a list of names until Sunday or Monday. This may not surprise you, but no one from the legal team has made contact with them at all. They request examples of fraud. No, I mean, they want those pesky pieces of evidence, but God, so annoying. Anyway, but let me continue. They request examples of fraud, numbers, names, whatever supporting evidence can be provided. We've now supplied that. No, they didn't, there was no evidence. But our legal squad isn't exactly buttoned up. I bring this up for a simple reason. If we're hoping to move real numbers on the 6th, I think we need to quickly start mobilizing our real deal allies. I'm ready to go. I have bodies to help. We'll follow your lead. And Mark Meadows responds, thanks, Jason. You are the best. I will bring it up with the President of the United States, and I plan to meet with them on Saturday.
Yep. Yeah, look, it's that simple. This is the butt end of the Republican Party. It's not to absolve the other Republicans who tons of them voted with Trump on decertifying the votes. They ran for re-election. So it totally did whatever Trump wanted to do. So the entirety of the Republican Party is guilty. But these guys here that are the most extreme, that were calling for martial law and to literally destroy America as we know it, are absolute traitors. And so you should tell them that. And I don't mean, again, never anything physical, but then social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, writing into their office, calling in like the old days, say, oh, Ralph Norman, it turns out, especially if you live in their district, hey, it turns out you're a traitor, and I would like a congressman who loves America instead of hates it. So I don't want a dictator, and apparently you do. So can you, one, leave Congress immediately because you don't believe in this country, so you shouldn't represent us if you don't believe in democracy. And number two, there's a lot of dictatorships in the world. Go pick one. Saudi Arabia, North Korea, go live under one. See how you like it then.
All right, there's a lot more detail. From what I've seen so far, TPM has done a multi-part series on this, so I just want to give them credit for their reporting. It is lengthy, so check that out if you want to learn more. But it is not surprising to me that there were literally dozens of Republican members of Congress who were conspiring to overturn the results of our democratic process, our election. They do everything they can to rig these elections to their advantage, and even when they lose, after rigging it to their advantage, they try to find ways to overturn the results. It's disgusting. I don't know if they're going to face criminal charges. I think they should. I mean, I don't get it, because you mentioned earlier, Cenk, whether or not they're going to face charges of treason is a question. Like, we don't know if that's going to happen. You don't know if it's even possible, but why not?
Well, I mean, first of all, look, has Trump been charged on anything? And we all know that he's committed dozens of crimes.
He's not going to be charged, but members of Congress have in the past for other crimes, right?
Right, but almost always it's because what they steal from other rich people.
That's a good point.
Like, that's almost the only crime that there's ever any punishment for among the elites. So I would be shocked. I mean, certainly no Republican is going to punish them. Most of the Republicans agree with them, right? The Republican politicians. And they just didn't think that they could get away with it. If they thought they can get away with it, the entire Republican Party would vote for a dictatorship today, right now. Not all the voters would, but the politicians instantly. Only thing they care about is power. So, but if the Democrats are in charge, well, they were in charge. Okay, they say, oh, well, golly gee, it took us forever to find this thing. I know, you always slow roll it, right? But let's say they had a supermajority. Do you think they do anything about Ralph Norman and Marjorie Taylor Greene and everybody that participated in this? No, I don't think they do anything at all. They're Democrats. They're generally cowards. The prosecutors are so afraid of losing. They'll only charge regular people that were in the riots. They won't charge people like Navarro, who's going around bragging that he did the fake elector plot, which is the coup itself. So no, they're definitely going to get away with it. That's why I asked you to use democracy to see if you could, drive them out politically and rhetorically, et cetera. Last thing's about Marjorie Taylor Greene. So she also asked for martial law. This Ralph Norman, I would keep emphasizing because he said you should do it, whereas she posed it as like, well, I hear it's one of the options and we should really consider it, okay? We should consider rolling in the tanks and ending our democracy. That's who she is. So when you see her talking about how she loves America, what she actually means is, I love racist white people being in charge of everyone else. The rest of America, take it or leave it. The democracy part, she hates. So if she could do a military dictatorship where racist white people like her ruled all of us like they used to in the past, she would do it in a flat second. That's what she and a lot of other right-wingers mean when they say the word America. Not the actual country, and certainly not our ideas or our Constitution.